Hello and welcome back to another video. I am aware it's been a very long time since I've uploaded. I think it's been a few months now, but I've decided to be a bit of an idiot and buy this like a show. Now, I've been playing it for the past few weeks, not past few weeks, past couple of weeks, and it's been really fun to play. I love the RNG in this deck because I didn't play it when it was really good, but I just love how lucky you have to be to actually play this deck. And with how I built the deck, or how my current version is, which I think I worked on yesterday after my tournament on Sunday. Um, I've had to go over a few things and change it a little bit so it can be a little bit more easy to mill rocks or see what I want to see. So let's get into it. If you didn't know, this is Adamancipator. It is known as one of the decks that never topped an event. So anyway, let's get into it. So for the Adamancipator names, we have 3 Researcher. Researcher is the best one out of all the Adamancipator main deck monsters because if you control a rock monster, you can special summon it, and it has the main effect of any Adamancipator to excavate top 5 and have a look at what you have and summon a level 4 lower non-tuner rock monster. This is great for playing through Nibiru because obviously a Nibiru token is a rock monster. So if you haven't used its effect to special summon, you can just summon one and then you can carry on with your plays from there. You've next got 3 Seeker. Same thing, but you have to control an Adamancipator monster to special summon it. And I am feeling a bit ill, so you have to bear with me. So if you control Adamancipator, same thing as Researcher, special summon it, and then it has the same effect as any other Adamancipator main deck monster. You've got Analyzer as well. Its special summon condition is your opponent controls a monster and you control none, so it's basically a Cyber Dragon. And again, it has the same effect as Researcher and Seeker. Now I'm playing another Adamancipator monster in the main deck, which is 3 copies of the Dragite Crystal. 1, this gives you a Water in the Grave for your Adamancipator Dragite. Second, when it is summoned by the effect of an Adamancipator card, you get to draw a card, and there is a really cool interaction I like with one of the other cards in this deck with this card. It's pretty funny. It just basically lets you draw into whatever the fuck you want. Next, you've got 3 Doki Doki. Its effect is you can discard a rock monster, special summon one from the deck, 1 rocks monster that has the same type, attribute, and level. No, same attribute and level as the monster in face up attack or face down defense. So let's say Doki Doki, discard Guardian, summon Analyzer. Speaking of Guardian, we've got 3 Kokimeri Guardian, which is just if a monster effect is activated, you contribute the card and negate it and destroy the card. And during the end phase, you have to reveal a rock monster. And from what I know, if you control 2 of these, on EDO Pro, you only have to do 1 at a time. You don't have to do them simultaneously. But I've been told that simultaneously is how you're meant to do it, so I'm not quite sure on that one. You're going to have to ask a judge on that. And then you've got 3 Supplier. A, to search out Guardian, or B, just to, if a rock goes to your graveyard, you can summon it from your hand, which is really nice. Just gives you an extra extender. Then you've got 3 Parallel Exceed, because you're playing Xyz monsters in this deck, such as Granite and Abyss Dweller. Also, they can be used as link materials, so for stuff like Anaconda and Hypermasquerena, it is really nice. We also have a Plague Spreader, and we have a Dark Magician and a Red Eyes. Plague Spreader, because it is a level 2 tuner, like all the other tuners in this deck, except for Analyzer, and it can just come back if you just put a card on top of your deck, so it's just free, really. And next we've got 2 Nibiru in the main deck, 1 in the side, because I couldn't fit 3 in. So next we have 3 Adamancipator Signs. This is the card I was talking about with Dragites. Basically, what you do with this is you signs, you bring back the Dragite, then Dragite Then Signs will activate, or it will do its second effect to stack a rock monster, then Dragite will allow you to draw. So it's just something really cool with that. Basically, you can draw into any rock monster you want. So let's say another Adamant's Pit or whatever you want. Next is Triple Tactics. This card is very beneficial for the deck because even if you stopped once, it could just end your turn. So having a tactics in your hand is so good, especially for the draw 2 effect. So let's say your opponent Ash Blossoms you just Triple Tactics, draw 2, you're probably going to be able to keep going from there. And then we've got 2 Twin, because I wanted to play some back row removal in the deck. Otherwise, if I had a Harpies Feather Duster, I would play 3 Nibiru, 1 Harpies, but I still like Twin Twisters a lot more though. And that's why I usually run it. And then for the 1-Os, we just have a Monster Reborn, Called by the Grave, and a Red Eyes Fusion. Probably self-explanatory. This can be sent off for Anaconda, and these 2 are just staples I usually play. Anyway, onto the extra deck. We have, for a Link 1, we have an Almarge. This is usually because if I normally summon a Researcher and I have nothing else, I'll link off I have a Signs, I'll link off the Researcher, summon this signs the Researcher back, then effect, because I can stack something that I want, which is really, really nice. So that's basically the only reason I play Almarge. Next, I've got Hulk, Masquerena, and Anaconda as my Link 2s. Anaconda because of the red eyes, and Hulk because it's good to just summon out any tuner, so mainly Plague Spreader, and IP because it can link into some of your really good extra monsters. Then we've got for our Link 3, we've got Nightmare Unicorn. Basically, it's just a way to get rid of one of your opponent's monsters if you really need it. If not, it just sits there and just in case. I don't actually have an access code at the moment, so currently I am running Appaloosa and Broadsword. If I did have an access code, Broadsword would be the access code. Because access code is just generally better when it comes to using that unicorn, because it is just 2 monsters. Except for 3 effect monsters. So access code toolkit is better for the deck in general, but Broadsword isn't all I have at the moment, so I kind of had to pick my battles, and I played Broadsword instead of something else, which I'll get to in a second. Next, we've got 2 Xyz monsters, which are the Granite and Abyss Dweller I was talking about earlier. So, Granite's going to search you any rock monster you want, or you can just special summon rock from your hand and face down defense position, which you don't really want to do. And Abyss Dweller, just in case you're going to go into Graveyard Reliant deck. And then for your synchros, you have Risen, or the Risen trio. So that's Raptite, Leonite, and Dragite. Raptite can SV top 5 and then summon any rock that you get in defense position. So that's even Nibiru if you for some reason want it. Leonite allows you to add any Adamant's Pit card that's excavated, and Dragite bounces cards your opponent controls up to the amount of rocks you excavated. And then for the generic synchros, we just have Savage and Herald, and then we also have a Dragoon to finish off the Dragoon package. Obviously, Savage and Herald and Negates plus Dragoon, it's just going to do you fucking a lot of favours. Also, one more thing to note with the Risen trio is they also have effects depending on what attribute you have in your graveyard. So these would usually be paired with the crystals, but if you want to play the deck a little bit differently, you can play it with the Prank Kids. So Raptite allows you to banish 1 card from your opponent's grave if a wind is in your graveyard as a quick effect. Leonite allows you to special summon a rock from your graveyard as a quick effect if you have a fire. This is usually to bring back Quackimera Guardian, I'm pretty sure. And Dragite allows you to have a spell trap negate if you have a water in your graveyard. And I'll explain how that works with the Prank Kids in a minute if you do not understand. And then just quickly for the side deck, we have a Nibiru, we have John and Lockbird, Pancratops, 3 Lancia, Dark Rolling and more, Droplets, a Twister, a Reboot, and an Order. Just things that are based off of my locals, plus Droplets as just one of the best staples in the current game, or dare I say the best, which is getting a reprint in the new Battles of Legend as far as I know. So that's also really nice. So I'll also explain what happens with the Prankers stuff, because I've seen that some people don't really know what the fuck the Prank Kid stuff does for this deck, but I have it right here as I play both versions. I'll just find out now. Ignore the Underworld Goddess, it's just something I put in except for Brawl Sword if I run the Prank Kid stuff. But you have 3 Roxies, you have your Lampsies, your Dropsies, Fansies, Pandemonium. Basically, what this does is, because Roxy's is a level 4 rock non-tuner monster, it can be summoned off of any of the Adamant Spirit effects. So, what you would usually do is special Roxy's off the effects, link it off into Meow Mew, effect summon Fansies, link these 2 off into Doodle, Doodle searches you Pandemonium, and you send Lampsies for Dropsies, and then you tribute the Doodle Doodle Doo to have Fansies and Lampsies in your hand. So then you have a Battle Butler set up. But what many people seem to do now, or what many people usually seem to do anyway, is only play Roxy's, Dropsies, and these 2. That is usually because A, Dropsies as a water for your Dragite negate, as you have Lampsies as a fire, Fansies as a wind, Roxy's as an earth, and Dropsies as a water. And this also gives you, just off of one monster, you get a link 2 that you can easily use for an Appaloosa or just anything you want, really. Which is really, really nice, and this is usually the package that's played, but I was playing with the extra stuff as well. And then Underworld Goddess is just a really good card to get rid of one of your opponent's monsters. But in all fairness, if you want to save on resources, then Unicorn's the better way to go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick deck profile, as I really do enjoy playing this deck. It is one of the most fun things I've ever played, besides Pendulums, obviously. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If there's not really like any sort of combos you can do with it though, it's just basically just set on RNG. So again, I really hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time I upload.